Yes. Hello, everyone. This is David Olanipekun. I'm the creator and host of Let's Talk Creatives, featuring talks with creative individuals around the world. Today's special guest is Marissa Oosterlee.
That's correct.
Oh, nice. So, Marissa, if you'd like to introduce yourself for the people that are watching or listening.
Sure. So, as you heard, my name is Marissa, and I'm an artist and teacher in art for almost 20 years now. And I'm teaching and painting full time. That's basically it.
Yeah, I discovered your work on Instagram. I actually mistaken some of your pieces for photographs.
Really.
Yeah, especially the street images of people, like the street kind of
The
paint.
Fox of the City series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those kind of reportage, kind of captured moment kind of pieces you produce. They look so realistic.
That's good.
They literally do look like photographs, and obviously your airbrushing portraits are.
That one was oils, actually. Because I do both. So I do oil painting and I do airbrushing. So I know that can be quite confusing sometimes because I do both.
Yeah, yeah.
So the whole intention of that series that you've seen and mistaken for a photograph, that is to bring friends and laughter and happy moments together. And my fox is the totem animal in those series over there. And wherever you see the fox appear, you know that he will be bringing you safety and good luck. So he's kind of, the bond between the friends in front of the music shop.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, you're super young. Um, yeah, yeah, no, but because like yeah, you've been so actually,
38.
like,
I'm 38.
no, yeah, that's young. That's young.
Yay.
Oh, that's young. That's super, oh, they're super young. But as I was saying, like, I was looking at your work, and I don't know why I was expecting like a proper like I don't know, I don't know. Um, but yeah, so what's Studio Foxy about? Studio Foxy. That's
Well, that's my school and the art shop, and I run it together with my partner Carlo Tedesco.
yeah.
He's from Italy and he lives with me now since 10 years, and we are running this company together. And the Foxy is because, well, I love foxes. That's why I had the Fox in the City series as well.
I see. Okay.
Because I grew up in the dunes, and yeah, the fox is just my thing. I also got two dogs. They look exactly like foxes, a fat one and a skinny one. Mickey and Ginger, and they're awesome.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so I read that you used to be a semi-pro cyclist,
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
and was it due to injury you had to take time off?
Yeah, indeed. I kind of broke my neck. I snapped my neck
Oh
and
my
broke
God.
my pelvis.
Oh my God.
Basically, my whole body was like,
Oh, whoa.
and it
Oh,
took me quite a while before I could actually walk. I tried getting back on the bike after half a year. That went okay, but didn't go well. The competition was, well, the end for me because I kept falling as I was getting, afraid, and so I was in the back of the peloton of the group instead of in the front. In the back is where you fall. So I
yeah, yeah,
gave up. I was 20, 21 back then when I quit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought I'll just bring that up. Was I was just reading about. I just thought it was interesting how you transition to one career from another.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks. I know. I'm just assuming you're drawing and painting prior your cycling days.
Um, I've been actually drawing and painting since I was before my second year. So before I was even able to walk, I was painting and drawing because my dad was doing this, and I copied everything like like a little parrot. I was just doing everything he did and said
Uh,
because my dad was an artist
definitely.
himself. Mm.
No, that's really cool. That's really cool. So so uh, so what series are you working on at the moment in terms of your artwork?
This is a really important series to me. I've always wanted to do it, but for some reason I didn't feel, I don't know, technically good enough or mentally good enough. And it is. It started with a self-portrait, washing away my sorrows. It's quite an intimate painting.
Yeah.
Well, I keep the things that I'm washing away. I keep that private. I mean, that's for people to see and to to fill in for themselves. They can fill in their own sorrows and wash them away themselves.
Yeah.
But that was such a big success. I got like requests from galleries worldwide, and I actually had to choose where I wanted to be. So now I decided to keep it a little bit more in my own country, especially during the crisis. The shipping isn't always, easy. Things get lost, and New York is a mess right now. So I decided to keep it here. Right now there are 3 running in a nice gallery in Limburg. It's open again despite the crisis. And there's going to be a very big solo exhibition in the museum here in Holland in October instead of June. So it's postponed. Wow. And after that, I hope to be back in America because I love America. And love to go in the UK and France, Paris. I'm going to try and get there with some of my exhibitions as well. And the water is about, it's washing away my sorrows, but it's also bringing the nature, the people and animals and the water back in harmony. So I want them to be in harmony and not in battle. I don't want the world to battle its nature, because right now it feels like it. And I was already doing this series before the Corona crisis, but right now we are actually in the fear that I've been painting, and the fear is becoming real. So that's kind of scary. It's almost like I'm predicting this, and it's also like what will the future give to our generation, to our future generation? Will they know the world as we know it now? The answer is already no, I think, right now, because you can see that it's turning in a different dimension quite fast with all the distance and stuff, and the pollution. Well, the good thing about, if I can say a good thing, the good thing that Corona crisis is bringing is that the nature got a little break. The pollution got less. Animals got some wild tours through the cities worldwide. You've seen some crazy videos of big cats jumping through the city and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool. But I know that they're not going to get their territory back. I mean, eventually people will take over again. But it's cool to see how nature can recover itself. And I hope we can learn from that, So I hope that our next generation can see and taste the clear and clean water as we know it. As I've been growing up in the nature, this is super important for me. It's going as a red thin line through all my life. Nature is me, and that's what I wanted to tell with my new series, my water series, Washing Away My Sorrows. I'm actually building a really cool concept for the museum, which is a water wall. In the beginning, it kind of leaked and my whole studio was full of water, but I fixed it together with my brother. And now I have a water wall, which is a frame with water dripping over like a waterfall. And behind it is my model, like a mermaid, because we locked her up in quarantine. So it's going to be Washing Away My Sorrows in quarantine. And you will see it when it's finished. It's going to be really cool. It's a little bit crazy, but it will be cool.
Nice. Marissa, do you mind turning down the volume a bit? I could just hear a bit of a reverb on my voice.
Sure. Is this good?
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It was just I was just getting a bit distracted there. So besides from shows being postponed, how else has this lockdown affected you?
It affected me a lot in the beginning. In the beginning, it was a little bit stressful because I had all these workshops planned, right? So people from all over the world come to learn how I paint. And so it was really hard for the people, to move the Dutch people over, because I knew that the foreign people couldn't come anyway because they can't fly or even cross borders. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do with the partially Dutch people, because they were in the minority? And then I had to choose whether I let the workshops continue or not. I decided not to, or go in really, really small groups of the ones that we had left over. And it was a mess because I had to reschedule my whole calendar, not just for the summer months, but also throughout the winter months, because everything is postponed. So I have to kind of puzzle it in another month and move things around. So I'm still working on that. And I had to buy an extra calendar. Like, look, I have this extra big book. Kind of planned my whole year, because online it was just a mess in my calendar. I couldn't really figure it out anymore, so I had to do the double date thing. And so I'm still working on that. And we decided to replace the real-time workshops for online live sessions with Zoom. So that's going to be really, really cool. And that went great with filling up. I was nervous for that. Like, how is that going to turn out? How will the people receive that? But luckily, I already got an online school, and there the comments are only positive. The feedback is only positive, and the people are super happy with amazing results in the Airbrush Online school. So we decided we can also do this live and not just pre-recorded. And therefore, we made it possible that my oil painting just filled up within 2 days. So that's really cool. It's full, and so we can start filling the next classes as well, live online.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice. So, what type of people? What type of, in terms of the age range of students? Like, what, who's the youngest student? Who's your oldest student, if you don't mind me asking?
The youngest students are like 8, 9, but they don't come in a workshop. I do children art drawing lessons. So it is a local thing. They just come from the neighborhood. For example, my neighbor girl, she's 8, Lika. She's fantastic, a little talent. And then she brings her friends. And then I have another neighbor boy. And, so I'm going to do this, and I'm already doing it, but I want to do it more because I love it. And I just got invited for a TV show for children that have a hard home situation. And we're going to do this for them as well. So we're going to offer it. And here's my dog. Can you see him? No, it's kind of, I have a different background.
No, because your background is changed.
Yeah, because my background.
Oh, I can see you some further.
He might jump on my lap.
Oh, okay.
But so that's my youngest category, and then I have some teenagers starting from between 16 and 19, but they are rare. I might have like 5 per year or something. My main category is between, let's say, 20 and 60, 65.
Nice.
That's my group. Yeah.
And obviously, you've been doing it. Oh, you've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
So you must have seen other people you've helped go on to do their own thing as well, I guess. So
Yeah.
loads of success stories from your students.
Yeah, okay, sure. So I got Becky Chen. She's from England, and she came here to one of my wildlife courses, just 3 days, and she picked it up. She actually made only just like half a tiger because it was her first time with an airbrush and pencils. I learned her how to implement other tools as well, such as color pencils and brushes, and now she's a super successful pet and animal artist, and she's doing lots and lots of commissions. This is just one of them, but there's many. Oh, there's also Ramon Kamerbeek. He just got asked to enter a TV show, so he's gonna paint in a TV competition. They liked his style, and they were impressed, and he's going to enter this TV show. So I'm super, super proud of him as well. And there are many. There are so many. Yeah. So you can have a look at my online school page. You can see a lot of student results and people that go pro. If you go on shows, there's always someone that has been with me. So it's really cool to see that it's spread worldwide.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Becky because she exhibited, I believe she exhibited at Brick Lane Gallery.
Oh, there you go.
I believe so. Yeah, I remember a young lady called Becky, and she produced pencil drawings of pets.
Yes, that's Becky.
Yeah, it's really, really good work. Really.
And she just started. It's not even. I think it's now 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Can't keep up because there's so many names.
Yeah.
These are the ones that they stand out and you remember them. And also Ranier Verduin is a Dutch guy, also really good. There's Dolgor, she's Russian. Can't pronounce her last name. But yeah, they're really, really nice. Colin Banks, also from the UK, really good. Also wildlife. He has some cool style with wildlife on aluminum plates, where he throws the paint on it and then gets creative with the realism on top. Really nice.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, so back to your artistic journey. So, what major obstacles did you have to overcome as an artist?
Many. It's a forever struggle. Right now, yeah, for the last let's say 6-7 years, I'm in a really good position. I'm lucky, but we work really, really hard to get there. Before that, it was a struggle because I had to do it like in chapters. At the beginning, I started as an illustrator, very young. There I did game covers and things, so I had to do what people wanted me to do. But I learned a lot from that. I was married back then. I'm divorced. After a few years, I got divorced. But during that marriage, I learned a lot. Also on illustrating and how to work for customers and do commissions and that kind of stuff. So I did a lot of commission work. I did some teaching. I started teaching also there in small groups. Then I moved. It was in Antwerp, by the way. Then I moved back to Holland. I've moved 7 times in 1 year because I was alone again. It wasn't easy. So I had to move my 5 boxes. That was all I had left, and I had to move them from one part to another part whenever I ran out of money to pay the rent. I stayed somewhere else, and go from house to house or from books to books. And but luckily, I'm strong. I bounced back, and I just built up back my imperium, an art imperium. It started really small. Then I met my current boyfriend Carlo 10 years ago. He's from Italy. He moved over after 3 months. We were living together, so that was really cool. And he helped me supporting and just getting where we are today. We set up an art shop, a studio where we could actually receive multiple people instead of just doing private teaching, because it's good if you have nothing. That can be enough to survive, but if you really want to build up something solid, you need to be able to take more people in. So this is where it all started. And commissions got back, because if you don't have a study base or one address, it's really hard to build up something solid. So as soon as I had a solid house, we bought a house together. Yes. Then you can start working on something and fight for what you believe in, and that's what I did.
Congratulations with that.
Thank you.
So do you work with digital media? Excuse me. So besides from oil paints and airbrushing, do you work digitally as well?
No, that's actually the reason why I quit being an illustrator, because they all went digital. And that was faster and cheaper back then. So the traditional analog artists, they kind of lost their illustration jobs because we were more expensive and it took longer. And then I just said, okay, I quit. So that was the end of my illustration era.
Oh, okay, but I would have thought you did digital because of the game covers, but okay.
No, it was all just manually illustrated, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And back then there wasn't really internet. There was some email, but I didn't have a good photo camera or anything. So I actually needed to go to the people that commissioned me and show the work, and then they said, do this or this or this, change that, and go back with the changes, or sometimes adjust it under their noses. So it was a completely different era. And it sounds like it's 100 years ago, but it's not. It's just 15 years, 20 years ago. So really, really strange how things have developed so rapidly.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, have you attempted to try like produce and work on a Wacom, like digitally?
I actually have one. I do. But because it's not my my soul isn't in it, so I can't produce like stunning quality artworks with it, because I don't have the patience for it, as my soul can put in it. I need paint, I need stinky hands, and
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I just use it to prepare my scenes so they look real and they are convincing to people. So people are convinced that my worlds are real. Like you, I convinced you that you were looking at a photo and it never happened like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
I
definitely.
mean,
So
they posed for me, but I put things together and I changed stuff a lot.
so in terms of preparing the images through the Wacom, how do you mean exactly?
How do I do it?
Yeah, yeah, what? Yeah.
Very, very standard, like super basic. I know how to move things around. I know how to cut things out and how to paste things. That's basically it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's good to know. Yeah, I was just, I was curious about that. Oh,
Because then I can blow things up or make things smaller and see if the proportions are right. If I put, for example, if I want to make a graffiti wall and I want to put a person in there and I want to put a fox in there, you need to get some proportions right. And this is what I prepare in Photoshop so that I don't get stuck when I actually want to sketch or paint the image, because I paint those things quite big. So the one that you see
yeah,
behind me is quite large. And if you don't have a clue of where you're going to start in the middle of your canvas, that's going to go wrong. So you always need to
yeah.
have some preparations.
Yes, yeah. And so obviously you do have an art direction background, with obviously you got a high level of art direction. Have you ever been approached like by like theaters or film studios?
Yeah, I actually did recently, like 2 years ago, I did a Netflix poster for the Perfume series from Netflix. That's
Or the person?
Constant in Film. I did that. And Pinewood Studios in the UK is a customer of mine. They got 2 or 3 paintings. And there was TV Fun, but that company's bankrupt, so it doesn't exist anymore. But it
No,
was, it was a, what was it again? Because it's long ago. It was something with 3D animation and TV and games,
mm,
interactive cyber stuff. I don't really remember what it was, but I did something for them as well.
mm, mm.
Nice.
And have you been approached? And obviously you've done posters, but have you also been approached for, um, I don't know, like any any other types of art direction as well, in terms of like a scene or like a theme for a movie or anything like
I've
this?
been several times actually. One for a Belgian movie, which
Mm,
was about they were making it, and I knew that director. I knew him, the art director, from a
mm,
diving trip that we've made, sponsored and all, because we're going to raise a shipwreck in Norway,
yeah.
and we had to do diving lessons, and I had to go down in the minus 11 degrees to dive for a 25-meter shipwreck, and we
Oh,
wanted to
wow.
raise it. It was called Raise the Belgica, and so we were there with the crew and we learned to dive, and I was there in my bikini on the freezing deck of the ship, and I had to jump a few meters down
Yeah.
and to see the wreck. It was amazing, but eventually it was not possible to salvage the wreck because it was just too the water warmed up too much,
Mm.
from the global warming, and so there were too many bacteria, and as soon as the ship would go above water, it would fall apart. And it was so expensive to build some kind of an aquarium around the ship that it never really happened.
Yeah.
But millions have been going into the research. But what we did do was save some parts of it, like the steering wheel, the windows, and that kind of thing. So there is parts of the ship in museums in Belgium all over.
Oh,
So,
cool.
but that guy approached me and he wanted to do some kind of a children movie. I said no because I was very busy at that moment. And there was someone for Robert Pattinson. They approached me as well in a movie with Robert Pattinson or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, there's
it
quite a
was
few
from
movies
a
done recently.
yeah, it was some kind of a he was playing a vampire. I don't watch that stuff, but
Oh, Twilight. That's it.
yeah,
It's quite a while ago. Twilight, really?
Twilight.
Oh,
It was with the actor of Twilight, Robert Pattinson or something.
yeah.
And but eventually that budget didn't go through, and that movie didn't go through, so they put me on hold, and then I never heard back of them. But I had to do some movie posters for them, like a couple
Oh, really?
portraits for 2 or 3 actors. Yeah.
Oh, so you actually did do some work for the Twilight series.
Yeah, no, not for the Twilight series. It was for of the actor of the Twilight series, this
Oh,
Pattinson guy, and then two unknown actors.
I see. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
but it didn't went through, and that was a shame because that would have been cool, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So you did portraits for some of the actors.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
was it a personal commission or it
no,
had
for a
nothing
film
to do
studio. It was for a
with
film
film?
studio. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It was
Oh,
a film in the making, and maybe they're ever gonna redo the plans that they had, but they kind of stopped it because of the budget or because of the
okay. I
schedule. So it's
understand.
just a cancelled movie.
Yeah, you can't mention the other details. I understand. I
No.
get it. I get it. Okay. Yeah, I just needed to be clear on that. That makes sense. I understand all that. I understand all that. Ah, okay. Oh, that's super interesting, actually. That's super
So
interesting.
I hope they pick it up and then they get back to me. So that's
Yeah,
cool. We already got the contact,
yeah.
and everything was actually already okay. I mean, they agreed on the price, etc., etc., and I agreed on their contract. So I even signed the contract and secrecy policy.
Yeah,
It was official, but then it didn't go through. So really a bummer.
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to see like more projects, film projects with you.
Yeah, I take them,
Yeah,
Sometimes I have to refuse because I'm so busy because I have a whole year planned ahead.
yeah,
So if I can't do it, I have to say no, I have to decline. But now I'm doing so much online that there's actually a lot of time for painting. So if they'd come like now, I could actually do it because I work quite fast. I can work really fast. I can work with deadlines because I've been an illustrator. And so I would, be able to tackle the job.
yeah. No, that's cool. So as well as big Hollywood films, like, would you collaborate with up and coming filmmakers that need some art direction?
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to actually. So yeah, I've been approached. Did I tell you about the children? Yeah, I did.
The
The
children's
TV
TV
series, children. Yeah.
series.
So they're the cool. It's cool actually because the concept is. I don't know if I can tell a lot about it, but the concept is that they're going to take celebrities of Holland, like top sporters, and they're going to take the children out of the hard situations in their homes and put them together with their idols, and they're going to do some lessons and competitions. And I'm the one that does it with drawing. So there's one for sport, one for crime report, one for drawing and art. There's one for rapping and singing. So, one for blogging and vlogging, or how do you call that stuff, influencer. So it's really cool, and I am quite honored that I get to be part of it.
Oh, no, that sounds really cool, really encouraging. Yeah, kind of reminds me of Blue Peter a bit, but a bit better, I think.
I don't know it.
I like.
I'll look it
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That's really good. That's really good. So have you been in touch with other artists?
Yeah, lots of them.
Yeah,
Got a
yeah.
good
So,
network, yeah. Yeah, you often receive messages or PMs, DMs, how you want to call it, emails. Sometimes on shows, you meet them as well. I'm a very good friend of Eloy Morales. He's a Spanish artist. We went to with him to New York as well to go to one of his exhibitions. And he's been here for teaching two workshops to our students. So I filled 2 workshops for him as well. We just grew like really close. We were really good friends, and I got Hubert Delarty. There's Omar Ortiz sending me messages sometimes. So we are kind of, we've never met face to face. Hubert and I did, but most of it is like email or messages behind your screen, but not face to face. Especially now, it's really hard, and I don't do much shows anymore because it's always so much organization around shows, and I am so busy. So I have to really be picky. Now I just send my artwork. If there's a show, I just send it and I stay home. How's that? But I
that's
used to be
convenient.
there, and it's the way to actually. It is the way to socialize and to network. Of course, it is the way to get out of your house
Yeah.
and meet other artists. But yeah, I just got so little time. The last time I did it was I went to New York. Actually won an award. It was cool.
Oh, nice.
And that's the last time I did it. It was November or something last year. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. And so what's your biggest source of inspiration?
Nature,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I would not be able to paint anything coming from the nature, yeah, then I would rather stop, because the abstract or the man-made mechanical stuff is not made for me. It's just, I don't say I can't appreciate it, because I can. I appreciate all forms of art, but I just don't like to paint that. That's why I also don't like to paint digital, because it's not, I don't see the pigments, I don't smell them,
Yeah,
they
I
don't
get
get dirty.
that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And during your art journey, like what helped you with your breakthroughs? So I don't know, were there any particular books you read or?
No time for them. I do have some books. Actually, I have a super cool neighbor. He's a famous author in Holland, and he just gave me his book of autobiography of a famous football coach. It's called Jacques Polak,
Yeah.
and I'm reading that. So that's really cool. Actually, give me 1 second, and I'll grab it for you.
No, okay.
Well, no, it's too far away. I'll come back.
Don't worry about it. I'll just put a link to it on the video. Yeah, I'll put a link to
Okay.
it on the video. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's called Jacques Polak. Yeah.
Shaq Pollock. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'll add that to the link, the video. Okay,
It's
cool. And is there anything else perhaps that's helped you, like, develop your art? So did you just practice? Did you look at certain people? Did you, what really helped you, develop your skills as an artist?
Well, again, nature. If I see something that I like, people or animals or a scene or a country, because I've traveled a lot for teaching. We've been sometimes in 22 countries a year at my top travel period.
Yeah.
Actually, it was too much because I got sick from it, and that's why I stopped doing so many tours. But I've made so many beautiful trips and photography of animals and people that if you look at your photos, it always gives inspiration on your next series. And I have so many ideas and sketches worked out and planned out that I just sometimes don't even know where to start. And then my boyfriend has to say, okay, stop here, work on your series. You have your series, continue. I need to push back in my focus sometimes. That's my only thing that is so busy in my head. That yeah, I am my only how you say I'm my only enemy.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah,
brain, yeah, it's just so busy there, because painting is not the only thing I'm doing. I'm also teaching, and I feel responsible for the results of my students.
yeah.
Especially now that I'm doing stuff online, I have my online support groups. This is where I help and support continuously, so I always have to be there. Sometimes I wish I could just, put my phone away, put it on stop. But if I don't do it, it's like boom, 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 boom. Okay. Let's keep the phone with me. So, I answer one at a time instead of 100. So, yeah, that's the only thing, that is sometimes it's really busy. And then I don't really get to focus on my paintings, especially when I'm tired. It's hard to find the focus, because my paintings require some focus most of the time. Sometimes I do some fantasy stuff in between, or some little things like the coins. I love to do that. I love to experiment with weird things. I'm never afraid to make mistakes, because if you are afraid to make mistakes, it's really holding you back as an artist. This is something you should really get rid of. Fear of mistakes. I always say to my students, there are no mistakes. You just overpaint. You just adjust.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm kind of fearless when I paint.
yeah. How big are the pieces that you paint? Like, what's the biggest piece you've ever? Yeah, how big is that one?
Well, what you see on the screen is about real size in comparison with my head. They are, yeah, 1 meter, 1 meter 10 by 90 centimeters, something like that.
Mm.
In inches, I don't really know.
Okay, no, no worries. No, just
But
curious.
they're big. They're like this big.
Yeah, yeah. And all the portraits, I see you do the airbrushes of the celebrity portraits.
Oh, they're
So
not so big. they're smaller. They're like A3 plus size, because they are demonstrations for workshops. So they are
Yeah.
not paintings that I make, for my own pleasure.
Yeah,
They are
yeah.
paintings that I create to show how I paint.
Yes, yes, yeah. I understand. Okay. Oh,
Mhm.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to any artist that's struggling like financially now? Like,
Financially, well, guys, you are an artist, so that means that you are creative. That means you need to learn to think creative and out of the box. So if you can't do this, you need to worm yourself out and say there is no can or cannot do. There is always a way that can. So if galleries close, try to sell your art yourself or book yourself, for example, with an artist coach. Try and collect every money you can. Invest in a course, for example, with Martha May Ronson. She's really good from the UK. She's an artist coach. She knows what she does. She can help you to get more money out of your artwork, to build up a good social network, your profile on Instagram, Facebook. Nowadays, there's also TikTok, YouTube. You can do little videos of your art, sell them, monetize them. There's what's it called, Patreon, where
mhm,
people can give you a certain amount of money for a membership of monthly payments or whatever, and then you give them something in return. You can think of postcards, prints, colorizing, how you say, like a color book, but one per month, so people pay for it and they can color it. A lot of people just love to color things that are already drawn,
mhm.
because it's calming. But art is something that is super stable, and maybe you don't realize it, but a world without art is horrible,
Of course.
because a city without art is not attractive. The museums attract the people, the art statues outside, the artists that lived there, the old masters, they attract the tourism. Buildings, offices without art are so boring. A hospital without art is a prison. So I think art is super important, and you can always sell your art worldwide to everyone. You just need to know, who do you want to sell your art to, and what kind of budget are you working. And you have to be realistic with yourself. Are my prices realistic? Because if I would sell, I don't know, this object
Hmm.
for €100 just because I want it, yeah, that's not realistic, right? So you need to be real and true to yourself, and if you believe in yourself and your artwork, I'm sure you can make money of it. I'm just sure. You just need to know, you know, where. You need to learn how to build a platform for yourself. Martha May is really, really good. I can highly advise her. I also did a course with her, so it's really, really good.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll note that down more for me. Yeah, I'll put that on the video clip. Nice, nice. Ah, okay, cool. And is there anything else you'd like to share in terms of your platform and what you do? Anything perhaps we missed?
Not sure. Can you repeat that, because I put the volume so low?
Oh, sorry. Is there anything else you'd like to share in terms of your platform and what you do? Like perhaps we missed.
Sorry. My platform. Well, like I said, I'm working on a new platform with live sessions. There is already a fantastic platform for airbrushing. If you like to learn airbrushing, I can highly recommend my courses, because they are proven to be effective. The student results can be found online on Instagram page, Airbrush Online School. The website is .com, so very easy. Oil painting, I have classes, but for now it's just Dutch people that can come. And the live sessions online, they are going to start in June. I have only one seat available because it's quite full already. New classes are going to be planned for after the summer, so for the fall. Maybe for August I can plan one more, but I have to see which one. Airbrush sessions are going to start in June as well, June, July. We're going to have two cool classes. One is hyperrealism, where we focus on making things look hyper real, so people believe that it's really there, but it goes beyond reality. And then there's going to be a freehand portrait in airbrushing, because freehanding is a big thing in the airbrush world, and people would love to know how to do that. So I'm going to show them all my secrets on how I do it. This is a short course, just 3 sessions, but you'll learn a lot in it. So if you like to learn how to airbrush. This is recommended. Furthermore, I got prints to sell. This is also a nice business for artists to sell prints of their work, of course, because not everyone can afford a few thousand or a few hundred of dollars or what currency you might have. And then prints are more affordable, as well as postcards, and this can become quite lucrative. So it's really nice if you set this up. What else do I do? I'm painting and filling my schedules and working on my filming and recording sessions. So this is what I'm doing full time, and it's really taking a day job. So, and in the meanwhile, I have to film my exhibition and get ready for October for the museum. So that's a big thing as well for me. And I hope that things will be open by then, but I assume they will.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I think that's a really great note to end on, because I'm sure there's loads of artists that watch this. They might be struggling, perhaps your words has helped them out.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And if you have questions, you can always send me a PM or an email. I'm willing to give some advice, especially in these times. I think we should stick up for each other. Art is an important thing in this world. Artists are important. So if you're serious, just keep going. I've had, super heavy times, even besides the crisis. There was no crisis, but I had my own crisis. And I've never even thought of stopping to make art. I just was thinking of a way, when and how can I make my art again? How do you make art if you have no studio? How do you make art if you have no paint or no money for paint? So I had sometimes to choose between money for food or for paint. And this is what kept me going. And when you have to fight for something so hard, you will never stop because you fought too hard. And this is what you should do, fight.
And that definitely, I think that's a perfect note to end on, Marissa. I really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. And you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And take care and stay safe. And I'll keep you posted once this is all edited.
Thank you, David. Yeah. Thank you ever so much. And stay safe and keep going. I love what you're doing. It's so nice to give the opportunity to artists to talk and introduce themselves a little bit behind the scenes.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Big kisses to you and everyone that's watching. Bye-bye.